Hi everyone and welcome along. Today we are going to do the most amazing seasonal flower that has terrified me for years. I have not painted irises apart from one go on the channel years ago when I was in my very detailed and rigid style of painting, which is a great style. I love detail, but I always felt with the irises I never quite nailed it. And so I've had a go at something completely different. So we've got loose watercolour irises for you here, and they are such a joy to paint, a real liberating feeling. And I successfully lifted paint off as well, which is also something that I've never quite mastered. You know, I'm honest with you at all times. You're coming and watching me today as a first practice go, a play around. I really hope you find it interesting, maybe inspiring to see how I react when I'm completely vulnerable, starting off something new. And maybe that's why I'm ultra proud of this one. More proud than normal, because I tried something new and it went okay and I really like it. So maybe that will be the same for you. Let's see what we need to get started. To paint these irises, you will need cold pressed watercolour paper. Mine's 9 by 9 inches and you might want to tape it down. Brushes I used: size 8 pointed round and size 12 connoisseur, both available in my Etsy store and web shop. Colours I used: yellow ochre, permanent rose, alizarin crimson, imperial purple, French ultramarine, green gold, deep sap green, burnt sienna. 2 jars of water, maybe more. Paper towel to blot your brushes, and again, this is a wet one, so you might need more. Grab your paints and let's get started. This slightly different setup is to accommodate a slightly larger bit of paper, and that's because we're doing something very different today. Irises are a flower that I have feared painting for a long time because, especially when I was starting out on YouTube, I was a much more sort of detail-oriented painter. And now what I would say I am is I've just loosened up a little bit. I'm still very focused on trying to create something accurate, but I've realised that the expression you can create with getting a slightly larger brush, loosening up and not trying to capture every single detail, as the Victorian botanical artists would do over 3 months of one piece. It's a lot more fun for me, to be honest. So what we've got, we've gone through our general materials, but we've got larger brushes and larger than, say, you'd be comfortable with normally painting flowers. But that's the key to it, because it's going to be all about wet on wet. And in fact, the point where this would be the kind of thing that I might even experiment with watercolour inks to get that real liquidity going. We are going to try some bearded irises, but we're going to, we're going to enjoy the looseness. So I'm gonna mix up a very, very dilute base mix of a little bit of yellow ochre and a bit of permanent rose. And you can see I am taking that down to the absolute dilute point where it's very, very wet and very, very, very pale. I want to be able to place shapes on the page and then drop in colours to start to create different blends and bleeds, because bearded irises in particular are just astonishing. So the colours I'm sort of thinking about are the purples and pinks, but also the browns and the greens down here. So it's very important before you start something like this, if you are using solid watercolours, is to make sure your colours are ready to go. And you might not have palette space to have everything sort of woken up and in a big old puddle like this, but at least you've got plenty of water in the mix, and you know that you could sort of pick it up straight from the well without too much time spent, because this is all about not allowing things to dry too fast. Now, the other thing I will say is this is the first time I've done this, possibly a bit crazy, a bit foolhardy, but I thought what I love about this channel is the trust you have in me to show you things that I'm discovering at the same time, and I think it's a really useful exercise for you to see me trying this for a first time. So let's just crack on. Let's get started, shall we? So the key thing with this is always going to be about getting a fine point on your brush and being able to fan out. So I'm just going to go for it. Okay. So obviously this initial stage is going to be almost impossible to see, but I can just, the reason I've sort of put this colour in is so I can just about see what's going on, but I know the colour is already drying on the page, so I am going to take a bit of alizarin crimson and purple and just sort of drop that into there. I'm going to take a bit of yellow ochre, slightly stronger, drop that into there as well. And I am going to maybe pop in a tiny bit of the crimson at the top. I'm already having a wonderful time, may I just say. And the key thing with this is not trying to control what's going to happen too much, because if the minute you start to try and sort of push things in certain directions, you're going to lose, essentially. But in doing this, just sort of going with it, okay, I think I'm going to now try, I wanted some sort of faint green kind of colour to be able to get in a little bit of that, little bit of the sepal there. Okay, I'm going to do another one. And I'm really going to try and sort of get this down, loaded on the water. I mean, this is very different to normally I would be saying, don't create standing puddles of water on the page. But for this is a special occasion. And we're trying something so different. And I really hope that you maybe think, oh, that it's kind of crazy, it's kind of messy, but I think I like it a little bit. Maybe it doesn't matter about things being perfect all the time. Oh, I liked twisting the brush just then. That feels really nice. Okay, this is all feeling good, looking good. Get a little bit more of that colour there, maybe a little bit more of the green. And you see, it's about that confidence with the brush, not trying to control it and things. Now I say that, I'm going to sort of come down in between. I don't even know if I still have the painting of my first iris that I tried, but I would love to see that now, just in comparison, because I think this is a real sort of, this really sums up the journey I've taken on my watercolours. That I think it's not that I couldn't have done this in the past, but it's just I didn't think to do it. I just thought, there's a flower, let's paint it properly. And the fact that I'm saying properly just sums up really that sort of lack of knowledge of what could be achieved with the watercolour. Now I'm going to come in with a bit of burnt sienna and just sort of dab it down. So that one's had a little bit more drying time, I quite like that. This one, none at all. And then you do also get the little buds, don't you? Maybe we could try one of those, and that's going to have a slightly more blue in it. And all this makes me feel is I want a bigger bit of paper, and I want to be exploring this style because I just love it. It's really, really fun. That feels like a nice sort of place to conclude. So what I want to do is I just want to let this maybe have like a minute or two to dry. There are some sort of big old puddly bits and things, and I'm wondering if I give it maybe a minute or so to dry, I can come in and just do the tiniest little bit of extra on here. And again, like I said, it's an experiment, so we can just see what happens. So here I come with some slightly stronger blue and purple, and I added just a touch to these ones down here just to see what would happen, because I wanted to have some sense of whether I was wasting your time or not by painting these in. But what's happening now is because the page is just that little bit drier, we're getting some lovely sort of faint details. I mean, I just adore that little scribble, and I wonder if I put a little scribble, still quite wet on that one, but that one, oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. I think a lot of us are fairly fearful of painting like this because it just feels like a big blobby mess. What I will say is the most important things to take note of are unpainted space, the way in which you really use the fine tip of your brush, then fan it out into those big shapes, embracing how wonderful those raw rough edges are. So something like an iris is a really great one to try to start off with. Now the other thing is my paper is loose, it's not fixed down, which means that I am getting a bit of a buckle and a warp, which means there'll be areas where I'm going to have a few puddles potentially. And what I can do is I can just soak up a fraction of that water. I don't want to blot it. You'll notice that I didn't touch the page, I just touched the surface of the water to be able to just soak up a tiny, tiny weeny bit of that. Because I don't want to lose the sort of organic blooms and blends that are happening, but I also want to not have a complete sort of washout on the page. So one other thing I would quite like to try is on these lighter areas, seeing if I can get a little bit of the sort of the colours that are there. They're very faint. Now this is going to be a bit more tricky than putting in sort of strong dark purple down in there. So let me just see. It's sort of, it's still quite wet. It's sort of making an interesting line, but I'm not even sure if that will remain there. It's the first one we did. Again, that's quite interesting. That's almost like lifting the colour off. I quite like how that's lifting it. But all of this comes from play and exploration. See, this is the next interesting thing, is can I lift colour off? Lifting has always been a watercolour technique that's confused me slightly, but this is working really nicely. My brush is damp and I'm just able to take that colour off whilst it's still a little bit wet, and I'm just cleaning the brush off each time. Like I said at the beginning, this is a lesson for me as well. You're basically sitting in on my playtime, and I think that is just as useful a time to be watching me as it is when I'm doing a tutorial. I mean, I hope that some of you might have a go at this yourselves. because this is going to be a very personal take for you, for all of us, in terms of what the climate is where you're painting, how much paint you naturally take on the brush, how fast you paint. All of these things are going to contribute to your piece turning out as it is. And I must say, I am so happy with these at the moment. And I think what I'm always inclined to do is add a bit more detail, add a bit more detail. I don't want to on this. I want to leave it as it is. So I feel like this has been an absolutely glorious first go at some irises. I'd love to hear from you to know if you'd like to see me try more flowers in this style, because I want to make sure that it's something that's really relevant to you as watchers and part of my community. So just let me know in the comments what you think, and I will say thank you very, very much for watching and letting me play for a little bit, and I am absolutely thrilled with my irises. Thanks so much. I'll see you again next time. Bye!